Hey, juniors, how you doing? It is Thursday, January the 19th, and let's continue looking at this speech by FDR at the 50th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. This was a speech that he gave on the 50th anniversary to rededicate the statue. Again, like you if you remember from yesterday, we talked about how the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France. France wanted to do this big, great thing for us, so they brought this giant statue over, put it up on Ellis Island. At the time, this was the main entry point for immigrants to come in, and this statue would greet them as they arrived into New York City. Okay, the idea that the Statue of Liberty stands for freedom, democracy, liberty. This is the thing that really is kind of one of those iconic things about America, right? Like if you think about America, this is one of those images that you see. What we are going to do is we are going to yesterday we tried to really understand the message. Today we're going to really look at the structure of the message. So the doc that you have, again, it's the same text from yesterday and includes the audio version, same text. And then we're going to get down here and we're going to look at a breakdown of the text. How was this structured? How was this formatted? How was this created? Okay. And the idea here is that if we can really look at the way the speech or a text was put together, we have a better understanding of the message, right? Like we have the message, but now we have the context, and now we get a deeper meaning of what it is saying. This is a practice called soapstone. Okay. It's an acronym. These are some different criteria or specific elements of a text to look at. First off is the speaker, the voice that tells the story. Okay. What do we know about the writer, the creator of this message that we think comes across in this? The occasion, this is the time and place, the situation in which this was given. We know specifically what this was, but there's also some other things that were going on around this. What do those help? What about that information helps us really understand the context or the subtext, if you will, of this message? The audience, that's the receiver of the message. Who was intended to receive this message? And then what do we know about them that would help us understand why it was written a particular way? Like assuming that they're going to receive this message in a particular way, you have to formulate it to get that point across specifically to them, right? So what do we know about the audience that helps us understand this? The purpose, why was this done, right? Like what was the author trying to get across? What were they trying to do? Now it gives you the example: writer, filmmaker, feel, see, hear, empathize, all of these things. It's the purpose. What were they trying to get across? And what was the starting point compared to the end point, and how did they want to get there? Then we have the subject. This is the content. This is what we are talking about. But I think it's important to note that there's like some specific pieces, some specifically stated literal, and then there's some figurative things, and there's some suggested things, and some background context things. And then finally, we get down to tone, and this was the way the words were used to get the point across. We do have here a list of some tone words. So to help you understand how to say this, we have a list of 155 tone words that help us understand how the reader was trying to get across. For instance, absurd. Okay, so you're trying to be funny. Okay, the tone was funny. Well, it's funny, but how funny, right? Like what made it funny? Well, they were being really absurd, meaning they were just ridiculous, silly. They were over the top, right? Or accusatory. The tone was serious. Well, they were serious because they're accusing you of something, right? And so these words help us kind of get to that next layer to break that down a little bit more. We'll talk more about those as we go along. But again, this is a practice assignment. Yesterday, we looked at the content. Today, we want to look at the structure. We want to get the behind the scenes, so to speak, see how the sausage was made in this speech, if you will, right? This, again, is a practice, but we do want to make sure that everybody does it, because we're going to take all this work that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks and next week. And when we get to the writing, you're going to have all these pieces that you can work with, okay? So you have a lot of things that you can keep and utilize as you move forward. So everyone is expected to do this. If you have any questions as you're working on this, please make sure you're reaching out to Ms. McGuire. Good luck, everybody.